Hello, this is Doug Pratt with www.personalchange.info, and I would like to tell you today about a poetic form called the Interlocking Rubaiyat. When the Titanic sank in 1912, there was a jewel-encrusted copy of a book called the Rubaiyat of Omar Khayyam. And of course that was lost along tragically with all of the people who died because they didn't have enough lifeboats and so on. I think you know the story. The book itself, the Rubaiyat of Omar Khayyam, was a long Persian poem written around 1000 AD or CE, depending on which measurement system you use. The book consists of about 1000 verses of poetry. I first learned about this form called the Interlocking Rubaiyat in Writer's Digest magazine. So if you do any type of writing at all, I encourage you to check this magazine out and subscribe to it. There's a column each month called Poetic Asides, and the person who writes that column, Robert Lee Brewer, introduces a new poetic form each month. Now the rules of the Rubaiyat are pretty simple. 2 or more quatrains, and a quatrain is a 4-line stanza or verse of poetry. And the rhyming pattern is AABA. So the first 2 lines rhyme, the 3rd line is different, and then the 4th line rhymes with the first 2 lines. And each successive verse uses an unrhymed line from the previous verse. And the last quatrain can be AAAA or AABA. Now, that's a lot of A's and B's and so on. So let's look at an example. This is an example written by Robert Frost, Stopping by Woods on a Snowy Evening, written in 1923. And I've bolded the last word of each line in each quatrain. So whose woods these are, I think I know. His house is in the village, though. He will not see me stopping here to fill his woods, fill up with snow. You can see that the 1st, 2nd, and 4th lines rhyme, but the 3rd line is different. So the 3rd line, he will not see me stopping here, matches the rhyming pattern of the 2nd stanza. My little horse must think it queer to stop without a farmhouse near, between the woods and frozen lake, the darkest evening of the year. He gives his harness bells a shake to ask if there is some mistake. The only other sounds the sweep of easy wind and downy flake. And you'll see that in the 4th stanza, which is coming up next, that the rhyming pattern of each line matches the 3rd line here, sweep. The woods are lovely, dark, and deep, but I have promises to keep, and miles to go before I sleep, and miles to go before I sleep. That's always been a favorite poem of mine, and I was surprised to find out that it follows this specific pattern. And here is a summary of each of the stanzas. So you can see the A, B, A, A, and then B, C, B, B, then C, D, C, C, and then the last quatrain all rhymes with itself. I encourage you to pull out your typewriter or your pen or pencil or iPad or whatever you use and start exploring this poetic form and see what you can come up with. And if you write something, put it in the comments. I also encourage you to visit www.personalchange.info for more blog posts like this, as well as videos and SlideShare presentations.